Keith Reynolds, host of Morning Coffee. I'm here with my lovely show host, Charlene Chamberlain. Char.
Good morning.
How you doing today?
Good. How about you? Feeling better?
I am feeling better. I was a little under the weather, but I am making my rebound.
Oh, that's good.
You know.
Uh-huh.
So,
Great.
I just, I'll tell you what, it really whooped me.
Yeah, it
You know,
does.
So, but all
Especially
good,
when all
good.
the kids get it too.
Absolutely,
It
it
runs
just
through the
went
whole
right
household.
through the house. So,
I
but
know.
I am definitely doing better.
Well, welcome back.
Thank you.
We
Thank
missed
you.
you yesterday.
Yeah, I was kind of, I was kind of looking at the show yesterday, and
Yeah.
so I missed you guys too. So what
So
do we
we're
got going
back.
on?
So we're
Yes,
back.
we're back together again.
And it's spring and it's time to get fit and get in shape, and our guest here is going to tell us just how to do it. It's Darren Garland, and he owns Emerge Fitness Center. Welcome to Morning
Welcome to the
Coffee.
show.
Well, thank you for having me,
Welcome.
Keith and
Morning
Charlene.
Coffee.
I'm
You're welcome.
glad to be on. With the we had our big push for the new year, and we're kind of transitioning to the spring, and
Right.
summer's just around the corner. So,
Mhm.
my gym came out of my journey with fat loss.
So, yeah, tell us your story. What happened?
Okay. I got done with college. I was a Division I football player,
Okay.
and I was a little bit heavier at the time.
Bulky.
Yeah, I was over 300 pounds, but I was in shape.
But you're a tall guy, too, so
Yes.
you could
Yeah.
carry that.
Exactly. So I was the big guy.
Yeah.
I got done with that, went into the real world, got a corporate job.
Really?
And was
what,
on-
what were you doing?
I was doing management consulting.
Okay.
So I was going in and doing a lot of data analysis on various places, bases, and other things.
All right.
And it was very stressful. I wasn't doing the activity level that I had been doing.
Mm-hmm.
So I went from practicing and eating and lifting and doing all these things to
To-
sitting at a desk.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
And next thing I know, I'm 400 pounds.
400 pounds. Wow.
400 pounds?
Yes.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
How long did it take for you to gain all that?
3 years.
So it was a steady
And that's not
gain.
really.
30 some
That's not a long
pounds
time.
a year.
That's 3 years.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I was continuing to lift, but I wasn't eating well, and I was doing sitting behind a desk, no activity. And we had an insurance person come in to our facility, and we were looking to get an extra rider. I forget exactly what it was for, and I got turned down. And
Because of your weight?
because of my risk factors. And I said, I'm an athlete. I just played football. I can't be that. He goes, do you know what an actuary table is? And he explained to me how I was going to prematurely die based on my
Wow.
risk factors. And I went, wait a minute. I'm 26 years old. This isn't the lifestyle I want. So I went back and started really researching fitness and nutrition. I had done the lifting component of it, but I didn't know everything about diet and all this. And I kind of
Metabolism, right?
exactly. And I kind of became my own test kitchen. So, I went in, I tried all these things, and my coworkers at the time were seeing what I was doing, and I started training them on the off hours I wasn't working. And then slowly, I was doing more work during the day on writing programs and doing the latest research and finding out about exercise and nutrition, and they started doing well. And I started realizing the corporate world was not what I wanted to. I wanted to help people. I started seeing my weight drop. I lost over 185 pounds.
185
Wow.
pounds. Wow.
That's
So-
a lot.
So it was, it was wonderful. And then I started working with clients, and I realized they were having the same struggles I was having. Behavior changes, stress, all these things were coming from not really doing what they needed to, which was learning what a healthy lifestyle is, learning how fitness can go within that, in that lifestyle. It doesn't have to be all or none. And that, it's one of the
Right.
things that we really try to stress at the gym. We have a great staff, Eric and Michelle, our coaches do a great job of getting people motivated, coming in. We look at goal setting. So the clients come in, we find out, most people are very injured, so shoulders,
Very
backs.
careful.
So, we look at a full evaluation on them. And then from there, we give them the best that we have in nutrition, fitness, and lifestyle management.
So I have a question. When you started to gain all that weight, so were you going for like sugar or soda?
Yeah,
Just
I did everything.
bad for you?
Exactly. Well, when I
Because
was.
you're sitting and then you want to stay awake, so you're going for the carbs.
Well, do you remember the low fat, high carb diet? Well, I was right coming out of playing football right at that. So
Right.
I was eating my snack wells, and
Oh,
I
yeah.
was, doing all these things that I was supposed to do. I didn't know fat, and I was
Mm-hmm.
doing chicken breast here or there, but I was doing a lot of processed foods.
Yeah,
and
that's really
one of the
dangerous.
things, there's a lot of research out there that, mass-produced food has addictive properties and creates opiate responses in the brain and all
you
these
want
other
more
things.
and you're craving it.
And they design these foods. That was
For
what was
that,
great. Exactly.
yeah.
Eat more, you want more, and it's just this bad cycle. So I had to learn that I couldn't drink soda. I have a fast food addiction, so I have to stay away from fast food.
Yeah.
After a while, it really starts changing my body type if I actually eat it more.
Wow.
Well, you know what? How do we talk about, you're talking about behavior. I think we're a society of, that instant gratification. How do you keep people kind of on the right path? Because you know what? They expect to go work out at the gym with you, and then like go home and say, hey, I lost 5 pounds.
Sure.
It doesn't work that way.
Correct. You have the 100-calorie snack packs. You have all these things that are telling people, okay, just work a little bit and then you'll be fine. We have to tell them this is a longer journey. You didn't get out of shape overnight. So,
No.
One of the things we have to
Right.
look at is, and try to find the big factor. Maybe they're drinking too much sugar. Maybe they don't realize there's extra calories that are coming in. We want to find out what their limiting factor is. And oftentimes, some people, might be eating an extra portion they didn't even realize was bad for them.
Right.
Most people that come to the gym, once they start there, they have an idea of what they should be doing. There's enough literature and information out there, but they might be missing the point that they think they can outwork a bad diet, and that's one of the first things we tell them. The old adage, you can't outrun a donut. It's true. If your diet isn't up there, we can work out as hard as we want, and you're not
Right.
going to see the results that you
Right.
want to garnish.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I agree. Because you know what, and I also think like a lot of it. I'm not going to blame football, but you see these guys that are huge, and you're like, look at that guy, and he's eating what he wants, but
Sure.
he's probably not. He's probably, yes, he's probably eating like a 20-ounce steak, and what I mean. But he's probably eating like a lot of protein.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Now in the off season, I can't speak for that, but
Well, when you're lifting all the time and you're running and you're in a program like that, that would be the exception of outrunning the food.
Right.
You can be that and also you're looking at 18 to 25-year-old men
Right.
with high levels
That's
of
right.
testosterone, and they
right.
They're breaking it down.
exactly.
Yeah.
We're not talking about the 35-year-old woman that's after 3 pregnancies and can't get that baby fat off.
Right.
Those are things. That's a very different person, and that's one of the things that we have to be able to adjust.
No, that's is it, but they can though. They can get that baby fat off.
Sure.
Yes.
See,
Yeah.
I think that's a misconception.
Yeah, and I just want to pop in here. So many women are now overweight and not that overweight, but now they think their quick fix is lap band surgery or,
I know.
all that
I
stuff.
hate that.
And I'm like, I think if you exercise, change your diet, eat naked.
I really,
Excuse me?
Yeah, eat naked.
Well, this is a kid's show, Shar.
naked foods, right?
Right. Naked foods, Keith. Well, if you want to do the other, okay too.
All right.
We'll have to try that later. I don't know.
But, I'm sure there are extreme cases, but I work with a lot of women all the time. And, they're talking 25, 30, 40, even 50 pounds. And they're saying that, I have to have surgery. And I'm like, no, you really need to change your diet. You need to work out. You need to exercise.
The quick fix thing you were talking about is all over the place in medical fields.
It's advertised everywhere. And there's so many different versions
take
of
this
it now.
supplement, take this, without looking at a basic concept, which is, eating whole foods, getting proper rest. Make sure you get hydration. We had 3 clients that were in they were getting ready for those types of surgeries, and I told them, I said, let's hold off, a month or 2, and let's see you see some success.
Where you go, yeah.
And they were able to do it without having to resort
A
to
healthy way.
and it's a major surgery. I mean, you're
Yeah.
redoing your internal organs. That's something you don't just do, and
If Joan Rivers didn't prove like if you don't have to go under the knife,
Yeah.
don't do it. I
Right.
mean,
and then
that
there's
freaking-
other things like, so you lose the weight, but then there's nutrient absorption issues, and you have to take these supplements, and a lot of the clients that I've dealt with that that came to me after that. You know, hair falling out, you know, teeth, all these other issues that come from that they don't really tell you about. You know, they think it's just the weight coming off, but not how the weight's coming off.
Right.
Well, you know what? I want to take a commercial break, and then we're going to come back because I want to talk about actually getting into a routine.
Motivation.
Motivation. So we're going to come right back after this break.
For independent living for seniors age 62 and over, People Inc. offers safe, maintenance-free apartments across Western New York. The affordable rent is income-based. For more information, call People Inc. Senior Living at 817-9090.
Looking for a cooking oil with a light flavor and reduced absorption so food preserves its natural flavor? One with a high smoke point for stir-frying, sautéing, grilling, and baking? Then choose all-natural Pompeian 100% grapeseed oil, imported from France. Grapes have been a key ingredient of the healthy Mediterranean diet for years. Pompeian 100% grapeseed oil is the chef's choice for high-heat cooking, grilling, stir-frying, sautéing, or even deep frying. And Pompeian 100% grapeseed oil is great for baking too, because its delicate taste does not overwhelm the flavor of cakes, cookies, and other favorite recipes. A key traditional ingredient of the Mediterranean, grapeseed oil is a rich source of vitamin E antioxidant and naturally gluten-free. Buy imported Pompeian 100% grapeseed oil today and find great recipes at Pompeian.com.
Wait, don't let this happen to you. At Jan Fence, we're family owned and operated for over 50 years, providing a wide choice of fencing. Why wait online at the big box store? Just call Jan Fence. Ask about our Easy Fence to Go products by Active Yards, the first truly do-it-yourself fence product.
At Jan Fence, we always do what we say. Come see us today.
Step into an extraordinary world that will excite your senses. Experience our delectable Mughlai cuisine and the magic of tandoori savoir-faire. Let our international award-winning team delight you with a taste of heaven. Enjoy our mouth-watering flavors and our unique flair for excellence. Savor the elegance of fine dining and catering. Shazam Restaurant. Indulge your taste buds.
Today's show has been sponsored by More Than Gifts. Come see our new location in Marlton, New Jersey. Not just gifts, but more.
Well, welcome back. I'm Keith Reynolds, host of Morning Coffee, and I'm here with my lovely show host, Charlene Chamberlain. And Char, we have our workout expert.
I know. I think I want to go get my sneakers on after this segment and take a walk.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, it's been very interesting. We were just talking about, during the break, the process and motivation and how to stay motivated. But basically, how do you get started? Say if you're a first-time exercise person and you want to take that first step.
Sure.
What are the basics?
Well, you know, a lot of people are intimidated coming into a facility. You know, you see people that are in different levels of shape. You have your own mental, you know, if you've tried in the past.
Of yourself.
Yeah, you see yourself and you're telling yourself, you know, it hasn't worked in the past, well, you know, it's not going to work, and you tell all these negative things. So one of the things we want to do is have a very inviting gym. You know, we bring people in and we talk about what their goals are. You know, we analyze them. So, you know, and not like a lab rat situation, but we want to know what's going on. You know, most of the majority of the clients that come into the facility are going to have a bad back, bad shoulders, bad hips, bad knees. And especially with the population that we work with. You know, we work with people generally in their mid-30s to 60s. Well, they have a lot of issues that have to be addressed. So we do our evaluation. We look at how they functionally move, which is, you hear functional movement, that's a very buzzword out there.
Yeah, what does that mean?
In space, you know, if you go into a contemporary gym and you're sitting down and you're pushing on a chest press machine, that doesn't really translate into the real world. You know, you don't go into the supermarket, sit down, grab something, and then put it in the cart that way. Well, I have to go shopping with you if you do that. So. But, you know, we're out with a bag of mulch and we're sitting there and we're picking and grabbing it, okay? You know, that might be 40 pounds. Well, if we haven't trained ourselves to move at that angle to pick it up, we could potentially hurt ourselves.
Oh, sure.
You know, especially, we were talking about the lifestyle of sitting behind a desk or sitting in a car. You know, we become bicycle people. you know, rounded shoulders, bad knees, hips, tight hip flexors, all those fun things. So we have to address that. Once we find out, then we start talking about what they're eating, and then when we run them through their first workout, we see how they move. You know, is it something that has to be addressed with our mobility and stretching routines? You know, a lot of people are tight in some muscles and weak in other ones. Some fire correctly, some don't. Now, to the client, they're just doing a workout. They're doing a warm-up. Right. You know, we handle all of that technical stuff that they don't have to worry about. They just have to show up, and then we're going to put them through there. Then, as they're working out, we're also talking about behavioral changes. So, you know, one of the things we talk about is manageable chunks. So, okay, you know, you have 15 things you need to change. Let's focus on 1 or 2. And let's talk.
Because it can get overwhelming.
Exactly.
Right.
And let's start with ones that might be easier.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, you know, you say that you're drinking 1 soda a day. Well, maybe let's do a soda every other day. Maybe we cut it out altogether. And, you know, things like that add up and accumulate.
Sure they do.
And then, oh, well, that's easier, and that was easy to do. And, you know, I lost 5 pounds this week. Okay, well, you know, maybe there's something to what they're telling me.
Yeah.
And then you build trust, and then there's the camaraderie. You know, one of the things that we do is we have people train in groups, and they build a camaraderie, and it becomes.
That's a great idea.
You know,
Yeah, that's good.
You know, it's a social environment, and there's accountability, and it's not just accountability with the coaches; it's accountability with the other clients who are pushing for each other, and it really builds a nice environment for that.
That's pretty interesting. So, you know, and so what is a good measure of, if you're trying to achieve weight loss, you know, do you put some expectation out there like, okay, if you do this, you know, you should see a few pounds, not a specific pounds, but a few pounds lost over a week's time?
Well, one of the things that we do a little differently is, you know, we have weight loss goals, but the main thing we look at is body fat percentage. So we actually measure everybody's body fat percentage, and then we see what they're composed of. So if they're losing weight, but they're sacrificing muscle to lose weight, that's actually going to put them behind as they go on. So we want to keep as much muscle as we can, or build muscle in some cases, while losing body fat. So we use body fat percentage as a good guide. And then we can start seeing, now, you know, if you're extremely overweight, then we want to see rapid fat loss.
Sure.
I mean, that's just going to help everything. I mean, they talk about 10% drop in body fat or body weight across the board, you know, having, you know, potential diabetes, all sorts of different diseases are based on dropping at that 10%. So that's one of the things we talk about.
Well, now what about people that don't really have a lot of body fat but just want to tone up, tighten up? They have the jiggles. You know, a lot of women want to just get kind of bikini ready or beach ready.
We've talked about being obese and overweight, but we have a segment that want to put on muscle mass.
That would be me. I mean, I would be the one that would want to come in and just kind of, you know.
Yeah, you know, we would adjust the workout and the eating plan accordingly. But yeah, we work with professional athletes. We work with, you know, professional women, professional men. You know, and it's all based on that initial orientation when we're talking about what your goals are.
Right.
And then adapting the program based on your goals.
Very interesting. Now, what about, you know, are there any vitamins or anything like that? Supplements in your...
You know, one of the things we want to do is first start with simple, like your naked food you were talking about. So we want to talk about, you know...
He's a foodie.
You know, Whole Foods, and I'm a food person too. I mean, I wanted to be a chef at one point and realized that probably being at 400 pounds, it would probably be
one for me, one for the customer.
Exactly, and you know, so and that's one of the things that, you know, I think connects our gym with a lot of clients is that we sit there and we talk about recipes and we talk about, you know, ways of making
it healthy. Right?
Yeah, you know, because I mean, food. It's part of, you can't avoid food, you know.
You have to have it to function.
Yeah, you know, it's not like others.
A lot of people think, oh, I'll just eat less and I'll lose weight, but no, you have to eat sometimes more of the right thing.
Correct.
And less of the bad things.
You know, and the traditional training program will say, okay, I want this much salmon, and I want this much this and that. Okay, are you going to eat that for the next 40 years? I mean, it's great, and if you can do it, that's wonderful, but we have family members that might not be on the program. We have, you know, and you have to adjust to that.
Dietary issues due to illness.
Plus, you want to have variety. You want to enjoy what you're eating.
Right.
So this all have to come into play.
Well, I think, you know, also I think, you know, when you're preparing food, you know, I think it becomes a time constraint for most people, especially if you have kids or whatever. But nothing's like, you know, coming home and, you know, getting something that was already processed in the store.
Sure.
And you get that out there, you open a can of string beans and they're like almost like yellowish color because all the vitamins are in them.
Salty.
Salty, you know, preservatives, you know, then to go to a produce junction, get all the, you know,
Fresh.
snip the beans and then get a nice fresh piece of chicken and cook it yourself, a little salt and pepper.
Lemon.
You know, I always tell people, you know, the new prevailing thing is getting, you know, your proteins to a certain temperature. It's amazing how much that makes things taste better if you actually get them to that, spice them up. You know, we do a lot of food prep. So we tell them, you know, on a Sunday when you might have some more time or whatever day you have, go shopping, preferably after you've eaten. You don't want to go shopping when you're hungry. Go shopping. And then come back, cut your veggies up, put them in baggies, put them away.
So they're ready to go.
It makes it easier. You can actually, if you know what you're doing, you can cook faster than you can do takeout, and it's gonna be better. And you are at control of what the nutrients are. You know, you're not in that triumvirate we were talking about with fat, salts, and sugars.
Yes.
You get to control that.
Yep.
You know,
absolutely. I mean,
those are the big three too.
Something that can sit on the shelf for like 3 years and you can still
Oh
eat
my
it. That's
gosh.
something probably you should.
yeah, was it long shelf life, short healthy life, or short life,
I swear to God,
short shelf life, healthy life?
I had this friend that had a loaf of bread, and he was a baker, and he made his own bread. But he said, I'm going to do a test, and he bought, and I'm not going to say the brand, a loaf of processed white bread from the grocery store. Put that in the refrigerator, and his home baked bread. 3 months that bread sat in that refrigerator and did not mold. His, of course, you know, in about a week was gone.
Sure.
3 months. Can you believe that?
Yeah, I mean, some of the on the same thing. You know, it should do that. I mean, that's telling you that nature wants to eat it.
Right.
Like
Exactly.
if nature doesn't want to eat this thing,
you
do you really want to put it in your body?
No.
We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we're going to be back, and we're going to be talking about some of the stories. That,
Excellent.
You know, some big people
And I
you
think
know.
I think there's a big event coming
There's
up
a big
too.
event contest that you guys are doing, so we want to talk about that. So we'll be right back.
In a world where bankers have lost all interest, where robots and fat cats rule our fortunes, one woman will stand up and strive to do the impossible. Be treated like a person. Friends and neighbors will join her quest. Ordinary people will band together against the forces of corporate greed. And together they will form Philadelphia Federal Credit Union, already in a neighborhood near you.
Imagine the finest hand-selected USDA prime steak you'll ever have. The freshest line-caught seafood, our Wine Spectator award-winning wine list, and soul-satisfying desserts. Bring that together with the perfect date, the winning business deal, a memorable family celebration. Welcome to Rod's Steak and Seafood Grill in nearby Morristown, New Jersey. Bring your appetite and feed your passion.
Your credit score is yours, and at Experian Credit Expert, we want to help you really use it. With access to helpful Experian experts over the phone and online, we can help you use it to get a better idea of what info the banks have on you. Use it to get more choice of mortgages. Use it to make your money go further. Take the next step to improving your financial future with your free 30-day trial at Experian.co.uk.
Here at Freppi's Tex-Mex, you can definitely taste the freshness in our food. You should definitely come to Freppi's because it's a great place. You can bring your family, very kid-friendly. All my servers are amazing, friendly people. Everyone here is just happy to serve, and I think it shows. The thing that sets us apart is the quality and freshness of our food. And I think once you try it, you'd be coming back. I'm Joe DeSario, co-owner of Freppi's Tex-Mex in Plainfield, New Jersey.
Today's show has been sponsored by More Than Gifts. Come see our new location in Marlton, New Jersey. Not just gifts, but more.
Well, we're back. back, and you're watching Morning Coffee. I'm Charlene Chamberlain. I'm here with my show co-host, Keith Reynolds, and we're here talking to Darren from Emerge Fitness. And during the break, we were talking about motivation and how to stay motivated. And he mentioned that a lot of his clients work out together.
Yes.
Which I think is great. It just keeps you a little more honest, I think, right?
Yeah, we look for accountability with that. We look at when people come in, there's a familiar, almost like a Cheers kind of scenario where you come in.
Your friends are there. Your
so-and-so, hey, how you doing? I'm so glad you're here today. That's nice. That's something we don't have a lot.
It's a familiarity.
With the cell phones and with the internet and all this, we kind of become insulated from interacting with people.
Right, which leads us to the other point that you made during the break, that people definitely are more sedentary, and in the past, the gym routine was to come in and lift and do all of the heavy stuff. But now you're telling us that people really have to come to the gym and start out with cardio because they're not doing that on their own anymore.
Yeah, we used to, 20, 30 years ago, we would go golfing, we'd have tennis, you'd have all these things that people were doing outside. There weren't really gyms at that point. That was kind of it was a bodybuilding kind of realm. It kind of changed in the 90s where we started going to, more of what we see now. Yeah, people work longer. They're doing more with their kids. So the movement that they used to get prior to that, now we have to include that in what we do. So we're making sure that people, do traditional cardio. We push sleds. We do things with people that are fun. We get out there and we do a lot of different items.
And you mentioned that you heart monitor everyone?
Yeah, we started heart rate monitor and putting it on our big screen in the gym. So we can see how many calories are burned, what the people's heart rate percentages are. It's all color coded by name. So, it just allows us to actually coach better. So we can see if people, hey, maybe you should pull back a little bit. Oh, okay, stop talking to so-and-so, let's get going, those kind of things. So
that's very cool.
Yeah, it maximizes and it makes it more efficient. So they get, busy lives. We want to get in and get out, of the gym as quickly as we can.
So how do you do that? Do you use it like a band, a fitness
Yeah,
band?
there's a band that hooks around them, and then it tethers to our iPad, and then we project it onto a screen. So that's pretty cool stuff. It's real new. Very few gyms utilize the system, and we found it very useful.
Okay. So you've helped some people out, that we want to talk about. Let's see if we can get the guys that bring it up on the screen. And now this is
Andrea.
Okay.
And
she lost. It's 100 pounds.
Yes. Yeah, she was
totally different.
She did it a little over a year. And her and her husband. Her husband came in first, Frank, and he started training with our coaches, and he started seeing some success and invited her to come in. And she was a little skeptical at first, and didn't know if it was going to work for her. She had worked out in the past. She had 2 children, and she decided to put in, and it was hard at first. And as you can see,
she looks fantastic.
She looks great.
Yeah.
Who else we got here?
So that's Frank. That's her husband.
Nice.
And we had
90 pounds.
Yeah, 90 pounds. So combined, they've lost over 190 pounds, and they both are living a healthy lifestyle. They both, one of the nice things is, if one partner is not on the same page, it makes it difficult. So here, they're making smoothies, they're doing healthy lunches and dinners, and they're doing it together, and it's a great example to their 2 children also, what can be done. Okay. We just had a event. We had a New Year's challenge. It was a 6-week challenge, and she was one of the people that won. And Frank came up, and he offered to the gym. He gave us $1,000 to donate to whoever we thought was most deserving of the money that maybe couldn't afford it, had to leave for whatever reason.
Like a sponsorship?
Exactly, like a pay it forward kind of idea.
Right.
And it kind of leads us into what we're doing in the future, which is a Mother's Day event. And what we're going to do is take that money and donate it for 3 deserving moms.
Nice.
And we're asking people to write up why they think the mom, their mother or friend, or they're going to nominate someone who's deserving of that, and we're going to give 3 6-week transformation packages.
Wow.
And so we're very excited about that.
Very cool. Now I think there's one more picture. There's a picture of you actually up there, I think.
Is there?
Okay.
Do we have that, guys?
Yep.
That's you before.
Wow.
Yep. So I was. I thought I looked Feldman at the time. I was on a golf course, and I was like, oh, it's like
Well,
one of
look
the.
how good I look, right?
Exactly. And then several years later, this was I was 26, and then 36, and it was the 10-year
10 years.
difference of that, and it just shows you. I felt so much better at 36 than I ever did at 26, and you feel like you can't get it going, but you can. And that's
I
what
think it's really hard to take that, to admit, number one, you have an issue, and number two, to want to do something about it, but to actually do something about
Sure.
it. That's
Yeah,
the hardest
taking
part.
action is the hardest thing
Yeah.
we see.
Absolutely. So tell the audience where they can find you?
Okay. Well, we're located off of Church Road between Maple Shade and Mount Laurel, Emerge Fitness Center. You can also find us on the web at emergefitnessnj.com, one word. You can sign up for our free strategy evaluation, where we go through all the things we talked about with body fat analysis, movement analysis, and then we're going to talk about goal setting. And from there, we can create a plan moving forward with that.
Okay.
Sounds great.
Well, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate all
Yeah,
your
thanks for being on the show.
information.
Yep.
We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back with our next guest.